Welcome back to episode 11 of Isle of Scáth. Have you ever wondered what it would be like if you combined The Office and Planet Coaster to create a mockumentary-style TV show set in a theme park? No? Well, here it is anyway. It's hard work. Managing a theme park is really hard work. People always think about the mechanics, the janitors, the ride operators. Who's ever giving any credit to the management team? Accounting, programming, health and safety. You don't do any of those things, Rob. Well, yes, but it's the principle, Michelle. Why are those people, me, not given any credit?
Because you barely do anything.
The point I'm trying to make here is there are many spokes to a wheel, and I would say park management makes up a large portion of those spokes. So how many department heads are there? Oh, I have absolutely no clue. Today is a busy day. We've got a new ride coming. This plot we're currently standing on used to be home to a good old-fashioned looper plane for many, many years. But today we're getting a shiny new ride to take its place. My name is Mark and I am the head mechanic. There is no head mechanic, Mark. He said for legal reasons it's an informal position, but who needs formalities anyway? So are you paid more in that role compared to your peers? No, but it's not about the money, you know? It's about having more responsibility. My name is Kevin, and I am a ride operator here at Conifer Gardens. I've been here for, 10 or so years now. So I actually started working here as a summer job, and here I am still. Christ. Yeah, I heard about the new ride. They haven't told us what it is yet. Want to keep it as a big surprise. It would be nice to get something new and exciting. Spitfire was a classic, but boring as holy hell to operate. Yep, a new ride coming today. It was a big decision to make, which I made.
Yeah, well, the looper plane's been here since, the opening back in 1940.
It's obviously vintage at this point, but it was just costing more to keep running than it's worth. Yep, it's time to bring Conifer Gardens into the 21st century. Michelle said what? Adorable. No, being vintage was its appeal. A looper plane costs virtually nothing to run. It's literally just a generator and a motor. All of these newer rides have more electronics, more fail-safes, which, don't get me wrong, it's much less of a headache when it comes to health and safety, but the running costs increase enormously. Saying all this, the new ride is hardly a leap forward. It's a waste of bloody time in my eyes. My name is Richard, and I am an accountant for Conifer Gardens. How are the park's finances? That's a bloody complicated question to answer. Good, satisfactory, all thanks to me, let me tell you. Between you and I, Rob has absolutely no clue what he's doing. Michelle is the real brains behind the operation. Same old story, isn't it? Behind every man and all that. You know this will be televised. Couldn't care less. It's no secret how I feel about Rob, let me tell you. Between you and I, I'd say Michelle and I are the reason this park is still open. Are you and Michelle close? No comment. It's official. The ride is on site. Construction is about to commence. Very exciting. How much did the new ride cost, you know? Oh, we got this for a tidy 20k, which is not bad at all. Although, more than I make in a year, that's for sure. Is it? Is it? No, joking. Pull in your leg. No, joking. Anyway, work calls. Turns out they don't need me for this bit. They've got their own crew for that, which is fine. I knew that anyway, actually. Yeah. I put together a little ceremony for the grand opening, which I'm very excited for. And I approved it, so, you know, always doing my part. It's not every day that we get a new ride here, so I think it'll pull in the crowds, that's for sure. Richard was very strict with me, in regards to the budget. But I had enough to get a little stage and some confetti. Oh, I'm very excited. Classic Michelle, always breaking the bank. Oh, shut up, Rob, you. Thank you all so much for coming today. I really appreciate it. As you know, Spitfire, or Loopy McLoopface, as it was once called thanks to a community poll, has stood here for just over 80 years. But today it's time for something brand new to help bring Conifer Gardens into the modern age. Thanks, Michelle. Without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to announce this out with the looper plane and in with the roller plane. Oh, for Christ's sake. Well, well, well. Congratulations on your new fancy ride.
Who are you?
My name is Xavier Harding of Harding's Entertainment. The very same.
What are you doing here?
Well, it's time to up your game, Conifer Gardens, because Harding's is coming to town.
I don't know about you, but I simply can't wait to find out what happens next. Too bad that it's just a throwaway bit and we will never know. You'd never guess that took me a week to make. What is my life? Anyway, you're not here for any of this nonsense. You're here for Isle of Scáth. So, let's crack on. The park is due one final ride, and that ride is a coaster, and that coaster is to be created by SCReconcile. If that name sounds familiar to you, it's because he created this masterpiece for Little Rock Ridge, and is actually one of the highest viewed episodes of the series, so it felt only right to bring him back to the channel. Much like Nerd Chacho, Reconcile was only supposed to be creating the coaster itself, and leaving the scenery to me. However, it soon occurred to us both that with the coaster type I'd requested, the scenery is an integral part of the experience, so everything you're about to see is all thanks to him. Over to the man himself to present his creation. Reconcile? He doesn't seem to be here yet. Okay, well I'll sing some Westlife until he arrives.
Hello everyone. Looks like I've been called back to make Moomin another coaster. But this time he's thankfully gave me a little bit more space and has tasked me with making an intimate multi-launch. Something a little bit like Taran at Fantasialand. His words. So after a quick Google search, since my knowledge of coasters outside of the UK is almost non-existent, that's what I've roughly gone about doing. It features 2 launch sections and keeps relatively low at the ground with lots of banking and near misses. It only has the one inversion after the second launch, which is also the highest point of the coaster. So to avoid any tall supports, I've attached the track to this half collapsed arch thing, what filled the empty area quite nicely. Similar structures were also used as supports throughout the track in other tall areas, as well as the high G-force locations. For the buildings and all the other structures, I've made use of all the rooming pieces, copying the build style that Moomin had already done, and since I download over 100 TMTK items just to open the pack, I thought I might as well have used some of them. Overall, I'm quite happy with how it's turned out. Since it was only when working on the last 10%, adding in the foliage, rocks and clutter, it started to look half decent. The coaster could do with a little bit more work, since the camera is a bit janky around some of the high banking areas, but I'll put that down to Planet Coaster being Planet Coaster, and it's not too bad. So thank you Moomin for having me again, and I hope it's a good addition to your pack.
The way Reconcile seamlessly blended this coaster into the existing park is astounding. There's no denying this coaster is the perfect final addition to the Isle of Scáth. But before we say goodbye, there's a fair bit of final detailing to be done, which unfortunately I can't outsource any further. I began by creating a plaza to go between the Pathos flat ride and the new coaster. Next, I fenced off the ride areas to stop silly folk from going into silly places. Where people will not go, foliage will surely grow. Goodness, perhaps I should have been a poet. Where there is a cliff edge, it generally bodes well to have some sort of obstacle, in this case a low wall. I added a few details to our very plain looking backstage area. This giant dock area was also looking rather empty, so I popped down the usual clutter. I also added some snow in places it might have collected. For those of you who think I've invented a new snow feature, I'm simply pulling the terrain from beneath. I was traumatized to find the supports for the Skywatcher were penetrating through both the castle bar and the dark ride. I used my big brain and placed some pathing which removed the supports. Back over at the plaza from earlier, I decided to add a little ice cream shack. I created a rounded outer shell using wooden planks. I framed the shop window with wooden beams and balcony pieces, a piece you'll be seeing a lot of in my next series, Little Treasure Cove. Goodness, that was smooth. The inspiration for this park, Isle of Scale, features a giant burning effigy. Well, I wanted to feature a very small homage to that on top of this shop. It's also another reference to fire and ice. Well, fire and ice cream, which is basically the same thing. I created this out of scaffolding and fire effects. With the structure complete, I popped a roof on top using more planks. Finally, I added some trim detail. Did I mention trims last episode? I like trims. Moving on to bins and benches, I placed some, wait for it, bins and benches. Last but not least, I moved on to lighting. I won't show you me lighting the entire park because, well, nobody needs to see that. As this is the final episode before the tour, I'll leave you with some extended cinematics to truly take in the whole park. I'll see you in 2 weeks' time where we take a wander around the Isle of Scáth with some special guests. See you then.